Welcome all to the lecture on Introduction to Abrasive Jet Machining, Abrasive Water Jet Machining and Ultrasonic Machining as part of the course on Advanced Abrasive Machining Processes. I am Dr. Monish Mukhopadhyay of Mechanical Engineering Department, Meghnad Shah Institute of Technology, Kolkata. This is the third lecture of this series. In this lecture, we will start with abrasive jet machining process. In abrasive jet machining, a focused stream of abrasive particles carried by high pressure or gas is made to impinge on the work surface through a nozzle, and work material is removed as erosion by high velocity abrasive particles. The nozzle directs the abrasive jet in controlled manner onto the work material so that the distance between the nozzle and the workpiece and the impingement angle can be controlled or set desirably. The high velocity abrasive particles remove the material by micro cutting action as well as brittle fracture of the work material. The process can be compared with, for example, if you throw a pebble on a glass pane, as the material is brittle, the glass breaks away due to the brittle fracture. But at the point of indentation or at the point of striking of the stone with the glass pane, you may find micro cutting has been occurred at that particular point. Now let us see a video in order to understand this process.
A small test. This is the workpiece we will be using in this project. So now it's always advised you to use some safety before doing this project.
As the operator said, you might find the abrasive particles being scattered away due to the presence of the compressed air which is being carrying the abrasive particles. So it is better to do this in a controlled environment or in a covered environment. So we can see the hole which the abrasive machining has created. This part has been formed due to the interaction as the workpiece was being held by bare hands without any jigs or fixtures. So the abrasive impingement has also taken place in these areas, so we have got a scratch surface. But the hole, as we can see, here is the hole produced by an abrasive machining process. Now talking about mechanism of material removal in abrasive jet machining. This is a process of removal of material by impact erosion through the action of concentrated high velocity stream of grit abrasive entrailed in high velocity gas or compressed air, gas stream, whatever you may say. AJM is different from shot or sandblasting, as in AJM finer abrasive grades are used and parameters can be controlled more effectively, providing better control over the product quality. The impingement in AJM is also better compared to different sandblasting method. In AJM, generally the abrasive particles of around 50 micron grit size would impinge on the work material at velocity of around 200 meters per second from a nozzle of internal diameter of around 0.5 millimeter with a standoff distance of around 2 millimeter. The standoff distance is the distance between the workpiece and the tool tip. The kinetic energy of the abrasive particles would sufficient to provide material removal due to brittle fracture of the workpiece or even micro cutting by the abrasives. Like this, abrasive particles, when they come through this nozzle and strikes at the workpiece, they might cause brittle fracture in case of ductile material or Even micro cutting can be observed by the sharp cutting edges or the micro cutting edges of the abrasive grits. Speaking about the physics of the process, we may say that fine abrasive particles are accelerated in gas stream as air and particles enter the stream and impinge onto the workpiece. The abrasive particles are directed towards the focus of machining. This is the focus of the machining process. As the particles impact the surface, it causes a microfracture and gas carries fractured particles away. As you may see here, microfractures may take place when the grits are interacting with the workpiece, and the compressed gas which is being coming will take the material which is removed as well as the grit material away from the work surface. Brittle and fragile materials are better suited as work material, and the gas stream is passed through nozzle and a connecting hose. The velocity of abrasive stream injected through the nozzle is generally in form of or in order of around 300 meter per second. This is the standoff distance. As you may see, it is kept nearly 0.8 millimeter, but it may change according to the the pressure of the gas which is the air which is being used, the size of the abrasives, as well as the material which are being used, which are as per the workpiece material. Now, abrasive jet machining consists of a gas propulsion system, an abrasive feeder, a machining chamber, AJM nozzle, this is the nozzle, this is the chamber, and abrasives. These are the main components. Gas propulsion system supplies clean and dry air. Air, nitrogen and carbon dioxide are used to propel the abrasive particles. Gas may be supplied either from a compressor or a cylinder. In case of compressor, air filter cum dryer should be used to avoid water or oil contamination of abrasive powder. Gas should be non-toxic, cheap and easily available. It should not excessively spread when discharged from nozzle into atmosphere. The propellant consumption is of the order of 0.008 meter cube per minute at the nozzle pressure of 5 bar, and abrasive flow rate varies from around 2 to 4 gram per minute for fine machining and 10 to 20 grams per minute for cutting operation. The second thing is abrasive feeder. Abrasive feeder, a required quantity of abrasive particles is supplied through abrasive feeder. The filtered propellant is fed into the mixing chamber when the abrasive particles mix with the air compressor through a sieve. The sieve is made to vibrate at around 60 to 70 Hz, and mixing ratio is controlled by the amplitude of vibration of the sieve. The particles are propelled by gas, and it is done in the mixing chamber. Air abrasive mixtures move further to the nozzle. The nozzle imparts high velocity to mixture which is directed onto the workpiece surface through this nozzle. The machining chamber, it is a well closed chamber so that concentration of abrasive particles around the working chamber does not reach to the harmful limits. Machining chambers is equipped with vacuum dust collector. Generally it might be done. Special consideration should be given to dust collection system if the toxic material like workpiece material like beryllium or other things are being machined. Now coming on to the nozzles used in abrasive jet machining. Now AJM nozzle is usually made of tungsten carbide or sapphire. Usually they have a life of around 300 hours for sapphire and 20 to 30 hours for tungsten carbide, which has resistance to wear. The nozzle is made of either circular or rectangular cross section, and head can be straight or at right angle. A straight head and a right angled head. It is so designed that loss of the pressure due to the bends and friction etc. is as minimum as possible. With increase in wear of the nozzle, the divergence of the jet stream increases, resulting in more stray of cutting and high inaccuracy. AJM actually deals with a potent problem of nozzle erosion, where, as I have told, that for tungsten carbide only 20 to 30 hours is the life of a tungsten carbide nozzle, which is a very high wear rate. Now coming on to the abrasives generally used in abrasive jet machining: aluminium oxide and silicon carbide, glass bead, crushed glass, sodium bicarbonate are some of the abrasives used in abrasive jet machining. Selection of abrasives largely depends on material removal rate, type of work material, machining accuracy, etc. Aluminium oxide size of 12, 20 and 50 microns may be used for the application of good for cleaning, cutting and deburring application. Silicon carbide similarly 25 and 40 micron grit size can be used for similar application but for harder materials, as silicon carbide generally have a higher friability index. Glass bead of generally more size like 0.635 to 1.27 millimeter like big glass beads are used in order to give matte finish on the surface. Then dolomites, sodium bicarbonate of different sizes can be used for etching and polishing, cleaning, deburring, etc. Now coming on to the process parameters which are listed over here, we can see that the process parameters include abrasive carrier gas, abrasive jet, the mixing and the nozzle. Abrasive material, as we have studied, that Al2O3, silicon carbide, glass bead may be used of different sizes for different applications. Carrier gases also may be used like air, mixture of different gases. Then carbon dioxide, nitrogen may be used. They are used in order to to be more controlled in order to achieve a precise material removal. Then abrasive jet of velocity 100 to 300 meter per second may be used. Mixing ratio depending on the amount of surface finish, level of surface finish or material removal rate what we seek to get from the machining process. Then nozzle, as we have already discussed, tungsten carbide and sapphire may be used, which have their different life of the nozzles. Now we will see the effects of different process parameters on the abrasive jet machining process. First one is the effect of abrasive flow rate and grain size on material removal rate. It is clear from the figure that at particular pressure, MRR increases with increase in abrasive flow rate. As the abrasive flow rate is increasing, the material removal rate is increasing and is influenced by size of abrasive particles. But after reaching optimum value, MRR decreases with further increase in abrasive flow rate. This is owing to the fact that mass flow rate of gas decreases with increase of abrasive flow rate, and hence mixing ratio increases, causing a decrease in material removal rate because of the decreasing energy available for erosion. So the trend is it will be increasing up to a level, then after that it will observe a decline. After this point of time, as the grain size, as the abrasive flow rate increases, all of the grains does not take participation into the cutting action. So there exist some grains which are not utilized properly. So the material removal rate decreases with the increase in abrasive flow rate. Coming on to effect of exit gas velocity and abrasive particle density. The velocity of carrier gas conveying the abrasive particles changes considerably with the change of abrasive particle density, as can be seen in this slide. The exit velocity of the gas can be increased to a critical velocity when the internal gas pressure is nearly twice the pressure at exit of the nozzle, for the abrasive particle density is 0. If the density of the abrasive particle is gradually increased, exit velocity will go on decreasing for the same pressure condition. It is due to the fact that kinetic energy of gas is utilized for transporting the abrasive particle. Now, speaking about effect of mixing ratio on material removal rate, increased mass flow rate of abrasive will result in a decreased velocity of fluid and will thereby decrease the available energy for erosion and ultimately the material removal rate. It is convenient to explain this by mixing ratio, which is the volume flow rate of abrasive per unit time by volume flow rate of carrier gas per unit time. The effect of mixing ratio on material removal can be seen. It initially increases, then after a point of time it starts decreasing the material removal rate with mixing ratio. The material removal rate can be improved by increasing the abrasive flow rate by providing the mixing ratio to be kept constant. The mixing ratio is unchanged only by simultaneous increase of both gas and abrasive flow rate. The optimum velocity of mixing ratio that gives maximum MRR is predicted by a trial and error method. In place of mixing ratio, mass ratio is also an entity to consider while judging or while commenting on material flow rate. This mass ratio is volume flow rate of abrasive by volume of flow rate of carrier gas and is given by alpha. And with abrasive flow rate, the material removal rate constantly increases when mixing ratio is kept constant. Now, coming on to effect of nozzle pressure on material removal rate, the abrasive flow rate can be increased by increase the flow rate of the carrier gas. That is a very easy to understand thing. This is only possible by increasing the internal gas pressure as shown in this figure. With the increasing internal pressure, the abrasive flow rate increases. As the internal gas pressure increases, abrasive material flow increases and this MRR increases. As a matter of fact, the material removal rate will increase with the increase in gas pressure. Kinetic energy of the abrasive particles is responsible for the removal of material by erosion process. The abrasive must impinge on the work surface with minimum velocity. For machining glass by silicon carbide particles is found to be around 150 meter per second. Now the effect of standoff distance on material removal rate. Now, as you may recall, the standoff distance is the distance between the tip of the nozzle and the workpiece. Standoff distance has been found to have considerable amount of effect on work material and accuracy of the material removed or the workpiece surfaces produced. A large standoff distance results in flaring of jet, which leads to poor accuracy. Whenever the standoff distance is larger, then this angle keeps on increasing, which results in less penetration. So with increased standoff distance, we may find that till a certain point of time it decreases. After that it remains constant, and after a particular point of time it starts decreasing. The material removal rate decreases as the amount of kinetic energy or the impact which the abrasive particles provide onto the work surface is not adequate enough in order to remove material from the surface. Penetration rate also increases with standoff distance and then decreases. Decrease in standoff distance improves accuracy, decreases curve width and reduces taper in machine groove. However, light operations like cleaning, frosting, etc. are conducted with large standoff distance. Approximate value is around 12.5 to 75 millimeter for different material to be processed. Now coming on to the advantages, disadvantages and applications of abrasive jet machining. In advantages, we may say that this process is quite suitable for machining brittle, heat resistant and fragile materials like glass, ceramic, germanium, mica, etc. It can be utilized for cutting, drilling, polishing, deburring, cleaning, etc. The depth of damage to a surface is very little, as the process involves controlled erosion of the workpiece. Holes of intricate shapes could be produced efficiently. The surface machined can have good surface finish if we control the grain size. Disadvantages: the tapering hole, especially when the depth of hole is more, becomes almost inevitable. That is a curve. Whenever you are trying to wait a second, whenever suppose this should be the hole, and due to curve we may obtain a hole like this. Which keeps on increasing due to the increasing standoff distance. Instead of a hole like this, we may end up getting a hole having much more diameter. The dust collecting chamber is a basic requirement to prevent atmospheric pollution to cause health hazard. The abrasive particle may remain embedded in the work surface. Then abrasive particles cannot be reused, or they are seldom reused. Application include abrasive jet machining is best suited for machining brittle and heat sensitive material like glass, quartz, sapphire, ceramics, etc. It is used for drilling holes, cutting slots, cleaning hard surface, deburring, polishing, etc. Now we will go on to abrasive water jet machining. Now, water jet machining is an erosion process technique in which water under high pressure and velocity precisely cuts through and grinds away minuscule amount of material, very tiny amount of material. The addition of the abrasive substances greatly increases the ability to cut through harder materials such as steel and even titanium. Water jet machining is a cold cutting process that involves the removal of material without heat. The revolutionary technology is in addition to non-traditional cutting process like laser and plasma, and is able to cut through virtually any material. The water jet process is combined with CNC to precisely cut machine paths and edge design. And in abrasive water jet machining process, what we do, as we know, in abrasive jet machining process, the abrasives were mixed with compressed air. In this kind of process, we mix the abrasive with water jet. Similar method of working is there. Now let us first see a video and then we will be divulging into details. This is the cutting process. The slurry which is coming out of the nozzle is an abrasive water jet, which is an water jet mixed with abrasive particles. We can easily see the control which is achievable by this abrasive water jet machining process is much more superior than that of abrasive jet machining. There is a CNC control abrasive water jet machining process.
Do you want me to just go about lift it out and show it? I'll just lift it out like that.
Thus, we have seen the preciseness of the cutting process. Now, coming on to history and background of the abrasive water jet machining process. The cutting technology by jet of water, high pressure water jet erosion machining, was first introduced in the middle of 1800s to cut rocks and for mining application. Many years later, sometime around 1950, this technology was used for cutting soft material like paper. In 1880s, abrasive as media were introduced in water jet to enhance the process efficiency. Motion control system and process flexibility were the major development as regards to this technology in 1990s with the introduction of CNCs, or rather introduction of CNC control system in abrasive water jet machining. Since then to now, a series of development to accomplish machining hard and brittle material, manufacturing typical shapes and microproducts, cleaning and polishing, and for developing biomedical, scientific and electronic components, they are widely used. Electrochemical slurry jet machining, that is abrasive water jet machining with ice particles as media, innovations in nozzle design, mixing polymer additives in abrasives, and process parameters optimization, etc. are some of the major aspects of research development and innovation in this technology, which is being focused on nowadays. Now, Now the working principle of the process. Now abrasive water jet machining is an extended version of water jet machining, as we have talked about, where abrasive particles such as aluminium oxide, silicon carbide or garnet are contained within the water jet with the purpose of raising the rate of material removal beyond that of water jet machining. Now this process can be used to a wide range of material that are soft, from rubbers and foam to hard brittle materials like metal, ceramics, glass, etc. With movement that are computer driven, the cutting system is therefore allowed to make objects efficiently and accurately, as we have seen in the video. Material that are difficult to cut through internal cutting or by laser cutting can ideally cut through the abrasive water jet machining process, as many materials are there which are thermally very conductive. So laser cutting actually induces high amount of distortion and thermal stresses and makes the workpiece surface poorer. So in those materials can be easily machined using abrasive water jet machining. The operating principle of the abrasive water jet system is such that water is pumped to high pressure by a high pressurized system that delivers it through the entire system. The hydraulic oil is pressurized by a hydraulic radial displacement pump and is then fed to the intensifier pump. The water pump pressure ranges from around 150 to 500 megapascal. Transporting water from the pump at high pressure to the cutting head is done by using a water supply system. Different types of valves and joints make together this high pressure pipes and helps in delivering the pressurized water into the machining chamber. The abrasive feeder system is responsible for mixing water and abrasive particle. This abrasive feeder. The abrasive feeder system is made up of a delivery hose, a abrasive hopper. Abrasive particles are transported to the abrasive inlet of the nozzle assembly and metering valve through the delivery hose. A switch is connected in order to function of the metering valve and controlling the abrasive mass flow rate. A container is used to store abrasive is considered to be a hopper. To achieve optimal cutting efficiency, it is necessary that the distance between abrasive hopper and the nozzle assembly must be at a minimal point. The cutting head, otherwise known as nozzle assembly, is made up of components like mixing chamber, water jet nozzle and orifice. The nozzle assembly, otherwise known as cutting head, having these the nozzle and the other parts, is provided or is controlled using a CNC machining system or CNC coordinate system. Diamond and sapphire are the most commonly used material for an orifice. A diamond orifice typically lasts up to 2000 hours, while a sapphire orifice can last up to around 1500 hours. A space where the abrasive particles and water are mixed and entrailed by vacuum suction is where the mixing chamber is placed in between the nozzle and the orifice. Through this nozzle, the abrasive water jet comes out and strikes onto the workpiece surface, which is kept on a table. This whole system generally is placed inside a controlled environment, and a suction head is provided in order to suck out the exhaust gases and make the surface or the area clean. Now, in working principle of abrasive water jet machining. The principle of mechanical erosion is a mechanism of which abrasive jet machining uses to remove or cut material from workpiece. The principle of abrasive water jet machining is based on abrasive particle mixed with high stream of water with high velocity to target at a given specimen. The specimen is under high stress due to kinetic energy that converts into pressure energy. The particles from the target material are inevitably removed as the induced stresses reach a peak point. The material removal principle is somewhat similar to that of an abrasive jet machining. However, the water mixing of this water jet results in more controlled erosion of the workpiece. Thus, we get a more precise and high quality surface finish through abrasive water jet machining compared to abrasive jet machining. Now, processing parameters of abrasive water jet machining includes abrasive type, abrasive grain size, water jet pressure, standoff distance, abrasive mass flow rate and traverse speed. Now, if we look closely, the effect of processing parameters of abrasive water jet machining is similar to that of abrasive jet machining process. Similar characteristics of graphs are obtained in both the process, and you may go to abrasive jet machining if you like and get a reflection of that. Now, coming on to advantages, disadvantages and applications of abrasive water jet machining. Advantages: it has ability to cut material without disturbing its original structure, and this happens so because there is no heat affected zone. It is capable of producing complex and intricate cuts in material, as we have seen in the video. The work area in this machining process remains clean and dust free. It has low operating and maintenance cost because of no moving parts, or very small moving parts, which can be very easily given onto the work surface in order to avoid providing moving parts onto the machining system on the machine itself. The thermal damage to the workpiece is negligible due to no heat generation during this process, or rather heat dissipation being very fast and very effective. It is capable of cutting softer materials like rubber, plastic or wood, as well as harder materials like granite. It is environmental friendly and it does not create any pollution or toxic products. It has a greater precision of machining compared to AGM. The tolerances of an order of plus minus 0.005 inch can be achieved easily. Disadvantage include very thick machining. Material cannot be machined in this process. The initial cost of abrasive water jet machining is high. Now, if we talk about the application of this process, the potential application of abrasive water jet machining are numerous. So, over the last decade, abrasive water jet machining has found to be widely used in various industries, including manufacturing industry, civil and construction, coal mining, food processing, oil and gas industry, electronic industry, etc. Many places. Abrasive water jet cutting is highly used in aerospace, automotive, electronics. In aerospace industry, parts such as titanium bodies for military aircraft's engine components, then aluminium body parts and interior cabin parts are made using abrasive water jet cutting. They are used in difficult to cut materials like titanium, Inconel, etc. In automotive industry, parts like interior trim and fiberglass body components and bumpers are made out of this process. Similarly, in electronic industry, circuit boards, cable stripping are made by AWJM. In oil and gas industry, a ship can be equipped with AJW cutting, abrasive water jet cutting system for offshore work. Some examples of what an AWJ cutting system can offer are causing cutting for decommissioning of oil wells, rescuing operation, platform cutting, repair, underwater construction, pipe cutting, etc. Uh, Coal pits can be replaced with abrasive jet for high productivity. In for construction industry, in addition to cutting and other applications, AWJ can perform several useful functions like they are used for sandblasting, cut corroded rebar, or can drill holes for bolting posts and all. It is also often used in road and bridge repair, underground work for pile cutting, etc. Numerous materials and applications can be found for this type of process, as it is having much higher advantage over the abrasive jet machining process. Now coming on to the last process in this lecture 3, ultrasonic machining process. Now, ultrasonic machining is a non-traditional process in which abrasive contained in a slurry are driven against the work by a tool oscillating at low amplitude at around 25 to 100 microns and high frequency about 15 to 30 kilohertz. Ultrasonic machining is a mechanical type of non-traditional machining which is employed to machine hard and brittle materials, both conductive and non-conductive electrically, having hardness usually greater than 40 HRC. The process was first developed in around 1950s and was originally used for finishing of EDM surfaces, that is electric discharge machining surfaces, in order to provide a smoother surface finish to the material removed using electric discharge machining. Now let us see a video first in order to understand the process. This is the tool. This is the slurry, abrasive slurry which is being fed, and the abrasives which are tool changing will take place. The abrasive slurry which is interfering in between this tool and the workpiece is resulting into material removal process. The tool is rotating as well as oscillating at ultrasonic frequencies. Now, machining system of ultrasonic machining process. It principally has 4 major parts in this machining system. The first one is magnetostrictor, then the mechanical amplifier, the tools which are used, and the abrasive slurry. We'll be studying about them one by one. The magnetostrictor used in ultrasonic machining has a frequency winding wound on the core of the magnetostrictor and a special polarizing winding around an armature. The magnetostriction effect was first discovered by Joule in 1874, and accordingly a magnetic field undergoing ultrasonic frequencies causes corresponding change in ferromagnetic objects placed within its region of influence. The effect is used to oscillate the ultrasonic machining tool, which is mounted at the end of the magnetostrictor at ultrasonic frequencies. A second is the mechanical amplifier. The elongation obtained at the resonance frequency or resonating frequency using a magnetostrictor is too small for practical machining application. This results in the requirement of mechanical amplifiers. The vibration amplitude is increased by fitting an amplifier into the output end and of the magnetostrictor. Large amplitudes, typically of around 40 to 50 microns, are found to be suitable for practical applications. Depending on the final amplitude required, the amplitude or the amplification can be achieved by one or more acoustic horns. The tool tips must have high wear resistance. The tips must have high resistance as the abrasive material which is coming in between this tool and the workpiece may erode away the tool material. For machining glass and tungsten carbide, copper and chromium silver steel are used. Silver and chromium nickel steel are used for machining sintered carbides. During ultrasonic machining, tools are fed towards and held against the workpiece by means of static pressure that has to overcome the cutting resistance at the interface of the tool and the workpiece. Now, abrasive slurry, which is being fed into the cutting zone. The abrasive slurry is usually composed of 50% by volume of fine abrasive grains of boron carbide, aluminium carbide or silicon carbide in 50% of water. The abrasive slurry is circulated between the oscillating tool and the workpiece so that the abrasives might get into the machining zone and can take part into the machining action. Now, material removal mechanism in ultrasonic machining process. The material removal mechanism in this process generally involves three distinct actions. First, mechanical abrasion by localized direct hammering of the abrasive grains stuck between the vibrating tool and adjacent work surface. As this tool is having an ultrasonic motion or vibrating at an ultrasonic frequencies, with the to and fro motion, the abrasive coming into the spaces in between this work surface and the tool is getting crushed by the vibration as in sort of a hammering action. The second is the microchipping by free impacts of particle that fly across the machining gap and strike the workpiece at random location. As the slurry is being fed, due to the feeding of this slurry, the microchipping of the work surface may occur due to the impact of the workpiece which is striking at various ends. And the third is the work surface erosion by cavitation in the slurry system. Cavitation may occur due to the surface erosion by the slurry. The relative contribution of the cavitation effect is reported to be less than 5% of the total material removal. The dominant and mechanism involved in USM of all materials is by direct hammering, the first material removal process. Soft and elastic materials like mild steels are often plastically deformed first and later removed at a lower rate. In case of hard and brittle materials such as glass, machining rates is higher, and the role played by free impact can also be noticed. While machining porous materials such as graphite, the mechanism of erosion is introduced. The rate of material removal in USM depends first of all on the frequency of the vibrating tool, static pressure, the size of the machined area, and the abrasive and the workpiece material. The material removal rate and hence the machinability of this process depends on the brittleness criterion, which is the ratio of shearing to breaking strength of the material. Now coming on to the effect of process parameters on MRR, we'll be talking about the effect of amplitude on material removal rate, effect of abrasive grain size on material removal rate, effect of frequency on material removal rate, and effects of slurry concentration on material removal rate. Now talking about the effect of amplitude on material removal rate, increase in amplitude of vibration increases material removal rate. It's very easy to maximize the amplitude of the vibrator. Concentrator should operate at resonating frequency. Under certain circumstances, this limits also the maximum size of abrasive to be used in order to adjust the vibration of the head. So we can say that with increase in amplitude, the MRR increases. Second, effect of frequency on MRR. Frequency, with increasing frequency, MRR increases up to a certain point. After that, it may saturate or it may decrease. Now, frequency used for machining process must be resonant frequency to obtain the greatest amplitude at the tool tip and thus achieve the maximum utilization of the acoustic system. Now, this was the effect of frequency. Now, effect of abrasive grain size on the machining system. The effect of abrasive grain size, it increases up to a certain point, which I forgot, which I misunderstood with the effect of frequency on MRR. The effect of abrasive size, maybe it is like it will increase with the MRR will increase with the increase in grit size, as the impact will be higher with increase in grit size. After a certain point of time or after certain size of the grit, the impact will remain same, or due to the higher size of the grit material, the more the material coming at the subsequent stages or the later stages might impact on the abrasive grits itself, so the material removal rate may decrease after a certain point of time. The effect of slurry concentration on MRR, with increasing concentration of about 30% up to 30%, the material removal rate will increase, and after that it will be constant for a certain period of time, and after that with the increase in concentration it will decrease. Now coming on to the advantages, disadvantages and applications of USM. Hard material can be easily machined by this process. No heat generation on the work, so there is no problem of work hardening or change in structure of the workpiece, surface structure obviously. No non-conductive materials or non-metals which cannot be machined by ECM or EDM can be machined by it. It is quite disadvantages include it is quite slower than other material processing because of the very controlled amount of material removal. Tool wear is high because of the abrasive particles getting into the work tool interaction place. It can machine only a hard materials, ductile material cannot be machined, otherwise the abrasive grades will impinge on the work surface and will get stuck onto the work surface. It cannot be used for drilling deep holes, as the inclusion of the slurry in deep holes, it is very difficult. The applications are, this machining is used to machine hard and brittle materials like carbide, ceramic, glass, etc., which are generally difficult to cut. This is used for machining of die and tool steel, tool of drill, wire drawing, etc. Used in fabrication of silicon nitride turbine blades, which are again difficult to cut materials. It is used to cut diamond in desired shape. It is used for machining non-conductive hard material which cannot be machined by ECM or EDM due to poor conductivity. ECM is electrochemical machining and EDM is electric discharge machining. This USM has found a very interesting niche space in the manufacturing industry due to the ability of cutting very hard materials. Many dental implants, many medical industries uses this process in order to work on the materials, and the dental surgeon uses this type of machining very commonly in order to file the problem areas in our teeth. There obviously they might be using only the abrasive they use at the tip of the ultrasonic machining head or the hammer is generally fixed, and they don't use slurry over there. Now this brings us to the end of lecture 3. Thank you.